What's going on, folks? It's me, Derek Eichenwald with Triumph Capital Management, your favorite money manager. And of course, this is your market update for Friday, August 21st, 2026, and your quick weekly market recap. Okay, folks, stocks bounced today. As you all know from the thumbnail, stocks bounced today here on a Friday. And listen, it's been a really bad week in the markets. We've been down almost every single day, but today we saw some life. The Dow added 517 points, or close to 1 full percent. The S&P was up about 0.5% or 33 points, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq was also up about 0.5 point and added about 113 points. If you zoom out, despite today's bounce, all three index still finished the week in the red. This is the first time we've seen all three index end in the red for an entire week since late July. Okay. With that said, take an even further step back, and please remember that all three major indexes are still in positive territory for the year. Dow's up about 9.7%, S&P's up about 12.5%, and the Nasdaq's about up about 13. Okay, so today's bounce in the market was nice. It was nice to see us up on a Friday, especially leading into next week. Next week can be a major tape mover for the market. What happens next week is the Jackson Hole Symposium. And what happens in Jackson Hole up in Wyoming is that central bankers from around the U.S. all get together, and it's almost like their State of the Union. Now, listen, what this meeting, what this symposium is called, is they're supposed to be focusing on payments, stable coins, and that type of thing. However, you're going to get different folks inside of the Fed giving little speeches throughout the week. That's going to be capped off Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time when we get the new federal chair, Kevin Warsh, gives his keynote speech. Okay, it's going to be a huge moment. Wall Street will be dissecting every single word of what's going on. And really, with their title of financial innovation, payment systems, stable coins, and that kind of thing, market's not looking at that at all. What the market really wants is they want to hear three major things coming out of Jackson Hole next week. Number one, they want to hear Kevin Warsh defend Federal Reserve independence. Why? Look what happened last Wednesday. You had Secretary Bessent come out and announced that they were going to double their bond buying program, not only in terms of dollars, 2 billion to 4 billion, but in terms of frequency, twice as much. So market wants to know, look at, are the Fed and the Treasury on the same page, or are they pulling on opposite ends of the same rope? Number two, market wants to hear the Federal Reserve reaffirm their target. What do I mean by their target? Unemployment at 4, inflation at 2. They want to make sure that that yardstick isn't moving, okay? And number three, they want the Federal Reserve to give some indication on what they would need to say, what they would need to see a Fed hike, a hold, or a cut. Walsh has said publicly that he doesn't want to give forward guidance anymore. He's already said that. They don't want to give forward guidance on what they're going to do. Cut, raise, hold, so on and so forth. That said, he's going to be delivering his keynote speech. You're going to have different governors giving little speeches out on CNBC, Bloomberg, and the like. And the market's going to be paying attention to that very heavily. Okay, let's move on to the economic news. A quick look at the week. Okay. Think of it like flipping through your newspaper on Sunday morning. I'm going to give you a quick 5 headlines from the past week. So first off, Monday, Home Depot beat earnings. Tuesday, we got housing starts and they plunged by 12%, but we got permits that were up by 5%. Look at previous videos, I explained that. Wednesday, as I already mentioned, Bessent came out, double bond buybacks, 30-year Treasury note had its biggest one-day drop in over a year. Thursday, you had Walmart come out, beat on the top line and the bottom line, and give positive guidance. Saw the stock sink by 9%. Why? Because they noticed the consumer not spending as much on discretionary items. Okay. 5 stories, one recurring theme, quite frankly, and it shows the consumer is still very strong out there spending money, but they're starting to tighten their belt. That's what I gain. So looking ahead to next week, Wednesday, we have a big one, Nvidia. They report their earnings after the bell on Wednesday, and it's a real test in the AI trade. Jackson Hole runs next week through Saturday, and Walsh's keynote on Friday morning will be big news. Okay. We also get on Friday the core PCE print. In other words, inflation, and that's really the Fed's big gauge. So Friday's a really big day. We have core PCE, which is inflation. We have Kevin Warsh's speech at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, his keynote speech, and we'll have little breakouts by different governors, and we have Nvidia earnings. And so I'm really looking forward to next week. I think next week, once we start to digest this economic data, so on and so forth, could be a good week. Another thing that added to a good week this week, as you all know, I don't need to tell you because you've been watching all month long, oil was down. Oil was down about 0.70. We closed below 87 bucks a barrel. And so, that, as I mentioned, this market's moving in the opposite direction of oil because oil's inflationary. Listen, that's the week recap. That's what happened today. You made money today. Be happy. We're positive for the year. Be happy. Next week, let's hope and pray we continue to see oil come down. Let's hope and pray we get some positive guidance out of the Fed. And more than likely, we'll see Nvidia just knock the ball off the cover as they have done in all their previous earnings reports. Anyways, I'm signing off. Y'all have a great weekend. I love seeing y'all here. Talk soon. I'll probably do another video Sunday giving you the week ahead and kind of more data, more economic data of what's on the menu, so on and so forth, and what we see. I'm getting out of here. It's past 5 o'clock Mountain Standard. Thank you all. Derek Eichenwald, Triumph Capital Management. Great weekend.